today is through Hackwood Park, just south of Basingstoke. This is the gatehouse. Hopefully there is a deer park in here, so I quite often photograph the fallow deer that they keep. There are other places where you can take some photographs, but they are sometimes photographable or not. Here we go. I've got my X-T4 set up with the 100 to 400 with a 2x adapter on it, because it's likely that I'll be needing that before doing it. Looking around, it's 20th of August and some of the trees appear to be taking on some of their autumn colours already. That's a sign of the end of the year. Which is coming to one of the deer park gates, through which you can just see Hackwood House just through the trees, but the trees tend to obscure it. There's a lake with a fountain in between us and it. You can't quite see it today. Quite often the deer are in this bit. Not today, maybe the next field. We'll go over the style today. The reason being the gate will squeak and might scare any deer away. Yep, I can see some deer over there. They're a bit distant at the moment, so we're a bit challenged to get them with this camera, even with it. Got the sticky lens guards on the Insta today, and I used them the other day on the bike. They got a bit scratched, but they shouldn't notice. One issue I have noticed today on one of the lenses, there's a bit of condensation on the inside, and can I get the lens guard off? I haven't got the tool to take it off, so I may only be able to use one side of the lens today. The summer house across the fields, and it'll be a nice shot because it's well lit by the sun. But the only problem today is because it's so hot, the ground's so hot, even without the camera or any magnification, I can see a lot of shimmering in front of the house. This shot I'm going to be taking it with my 6D Mark II Canon. It's got a 24 to 70mm lens on it, so it should give me a decent light when the light actually gets on the subject, that is. And into the woods. the area of woods that I've just been walking through was not here about 30 years ago, 25 years ago. It was very, very low, sort of like scrubland, but in the last 25 years it's grown up into a forest. That's how quickly these things can grow. Okay, we've just come out onto the Tunworth to Winsley path. In the middle of the summer, this is never muddy, but look at the state of it. We've had some heavy rain this year, so there's a bit of water to negotiate. The trouble is at this time of year, it's just the mud that sort of sits on a hard surface. Okay, approaching Winsley now. This is a bit of a dip in the ground, and at this time of year, this ground again is usually dry, but in winter this is just a mud hole here. I remember bringing an American friend of mine, Dana, cycling along here, and I fell off in the middle of a huge great flood that goes across this path. It was a wet, rainy day, and I got very cold. But that was a long time ago. Just approaching Winsley Farm, and this is just next to the A339, which goes between Basingstoke and Dalton. Some kind of machinery going on. I've slipped off the edge there. Hopefully in this field you might find a couple of horses. Yeah, back there, where the back paddock somewhere. We do a few riding lessons here with some locals. Yeah, the horses are too far away to photograph. Tricky sections of the route. This is the A339. I do have to do about 115 or so metres of it, and it's quite tricky to cross at this corner because we need to go down that track ahead. So yeah, you've got to keep your wits about you on this one. Keep your ears open for cars coming around the corner. You get some dog squeezing here. Just approaching the an old railway tunnel. The railway goes over the top of it. This was the Alton to Basingstoke, or Basingstoke to Alton light railway once upon a time, until it got dismantled from many years ago. The line was quite famous for the film Oh Mr. Porter, if you're old enough to remember. Yeah. This old building on the left here, I thought it was just an old railway shed that belonged to the old railway line, but until a few years ago I found out it was an old chapel, so in the middle of nowhere. So I don't know who used to use it, because practically way out in the wilds here. Climb up the old railway embankment. Until a few years ago, that you weren't able to go this way. It was all privately owned, the railway, but they've decided to make it now a permissive right of way between here and Swallock Farm, which is nice, because otherwise the only alternative to link the two paths was up the A339, which was very dangerous. So this is a godsend for all outdoor enthusiasts. And climbing this on the bike is near impossible sometimes. I sometimes get up it, I sometimes don't. Stick on it, You need it is quite a challenge, but you've got to choose the gears just about right, and yeah, it gets a bit loose underneath. Meters of quite dodgy road, so again that was fortunate. Yeah, there's like a couple of someone mowing the path for me. Just approaching, getting a view of Hackwood House now in the estate. It's long been disowned. I don't know who actually owns it these days. I think it belongs to some industrial thing now. But yeah, it's been there for a long time. The main gatehouse on the A339. Look carefully over to the right, you'll see some deer mashing about.